Okay, guys, grab your math notebooks and we're going to add mean or average to our page of median, mode, and range, or add it to the next page. So mean or average is adding a set of numbers and finding out what we think is like basically the middle number. So they're all trying to find out what like the middle number is. So like when we did median, we just looked for the one that was in the middle. When we did mode, we looked for the one that was most often. But now what we're going to do is we're going to try to find a different way to try to find what we think the middle number is, or the number that appears the most. It's called mean or average. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add up all the numbers that we have. So a lot of times this is how we find grades. So if we were doing this, so let's say we got on a quiz, so we got a 95, we got an 80, we got 100, we got, we didn't do so good, we got a 70, and then we got a 90. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up all these numbers. So 95, 80, 70, and 90. I'm not going to add the 100, I'm going to add it last. 5, and then 9 plus 8 is 17, 7 plus 9 is 16, 7 plus 6 is 13, 335, and then 100, which would be 435. Okay, and then step 2 is going to be to divide by how many you added. Okay, so we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So we're going to divide by 5. So 435 divided by 5. 5 goes into 43 8 times. And then 5 goes into 35 7 times. I brought the 5 down. I moved it over, sorry. So our average would be an 87. So if you were looking at it this way on a quiz, so say this was like your math quizzes. So you got a 95, an 80, a 100, a 70, and a 90. Because you got this 170, you went from, because you got, let's look, I'll go backwards. So we got an A, an A, an A, we got 3 A's, a B, and a C. And because we got that 70, our average being 87, which would be like a B plus. So if we looked at it, which one's messing us up? Well, the 70 right here is messing us up. Okay. And that's like basically how they find like average temperature too, is they just take the temperature for like 5 days, or like days like for 5 years, and then they just decide like, okay, that's the average temperature for the month. Or they take the whole month's temperature and they add them all up. So again, to find mean, the first thing we do is you add up all the numbers. So I'll go smaller here. I'll go 10, 13, 15, 20, 7. So I'm going to add them all up. So 20, 10, 15, 13, and then 7. Well, 13 plus 7 is 20. 15 plus 10 is 25. And 20. So 40 plus 25 is 65. Hopefully I did that right. Double check my work. Then I'm going to divide by how many numbers that I had. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 65 divided by 5. I know my facts, this is 13. Or if you don't, 5 goes into 6 once. That's a 5. And then 5 goes into 15 3 times. So our average is 13. And that is how you find mean or average.